My name is Batle Dlamini. Thank you for coming back to another episode of Workplace Chronicles. This is a series that I've put together for myself just to share different topics on the workplace, either based on my experiences or things that I've read about or discussed with colleagues or friends that they experience in the workplace. So I hope you guys enjoy these topics. So on today's topic, I just wanted to talk about change management, either in-house change management or outsourced change management. So basically, my career path started out doing an internship, doing in-house change management services, if we can call it that. And then I had a 5-minute stint in outsourced consulting. So I'll share with you what that experience was. I'm in change management, so I'm going to apply it in my change management world, but you could also look at it if you're in the marketing space or you're an accountant, whatever it is that you do, I think it applies. So this, once again, is an opinion piece based on my experience and life lessons and discussions that I've had with colleagues and friends that I share the same field. So I'm going to look at 4 things. I'm going to look at the pros, the cons, money, and career growth between in-house versus outsourced services. All right, so once again, my notes are here so that I'm structured. But basically, I'm going to start with in-house consulting. So currently, I'm in-house consulting. So with in-house change management, we have a change management department that services the entire organization with different initiatives that each department or division wants to introduce into the organization. So some of the pros that I've noted down for in-house change management consulting is that you have an understanding of the organizational culture. So you know how things work here, you know how to push and pull, you know what the push and pull is in this organization, you know how to get people to do stuff, you know who are those people that can actually champion these initiatives or work with you to push the goal that you have in your project. So that's really one of the benefits of being in-house, because you have an added advantage of understanding how things work in this organization and how you can actually turn things around. So with that, it means that you understand the processes. You also understand the way around the processes, not unethical stuff, but you know your ways around different processes. You know who to contact to fast track something for you, whether it's a communication, whether it's someone who knows that sponsor, you just need to do this and this and this, and they'll respond to you quickly. So you have that added advantage. So you know how to work with different personalities. Maybe you know that group, they kind of take longer to adjust to change. That's not a problem. Then you think of how you're going to assist them. On the other hand, we have outsourced services or outsourced consulting. If you're an outsourced consultant, you're coming in with the fresh, dynamic, new, creative ideas. And the pro for that is that people are more open to new ideas when they come from outside. I don't know how true that is for you, but I've seen it personally that, when somebody comes in from outside, you already believe that, they're coming in with something fresh, they're coming in with something better. So the level of buy-in will be much more easier, especially for things that are out of the comfort zone for that particular organization or that particular department. So that's one of the pros, because now you're able to introduce something new. Maybe it's something that you were thinking about that could innovate that particular space that you've learned from another organization. You saw that it worked and you introduce it to the organization. So it's a benefit for yourself as a consultant, and it's also a benefit for that particular organization, because now you've introduced them to something new and you've taken them a step further in terms of their development. So that's one of the pros of outsourced consulting. Another pro of outsourced consulting is that you're able to be neutral. And in our space in change management, you're dealing with people, you're dealing with emotions. No matter how tiny the change is, you're dealing with people's emotions at the end of the day and people's thought processes. So you're able to come in with the neutral understanding. You don't have any preconceived notions about any group or any person. So you're able to treat everybody with objectivity. You take everything objectively, hopefully. And yeah, it gives you that level to build a rapport with the group that you're interacting with. And that's kind of a benefit, an added advantage or competitive advantage for yourself as an outsourced consultant. So that's one of the things that you could use to your advantage. You can build a new level of trust with those people, or assuring them that you're going to introduce something that's going to actually be of benefit to them. So now let's get to the cons. In terms of in-house consulting, one of the cons that I've picked up, or one of the cons that I've noted, is that as an in-house consultant, you're tainted by the politics, and it's very, very difficult to try and remove yourself from some politics. And sometimes it's not being actively involved, but also knowing that there's a rotten basket there, or there, like, you can't really do something like that, or you'll get pushback. So you kind of tainted by the office politics, and that can limit your creativity, and it's quite a disadvantage to what you're trying to do or try to achieve. Another con is that you're part of the organization, and sometimes we make mistakes, and the issue with that is those mistakes can stick with you. So with outsourced, maybe you are hired by a particular organization, but you do consult in various other companies. So with that, you can make a mistake, and we all make mistakes. So you can make a mistake here, you learn from your mistake, and then you step to another organization and you improve and you get better. But maybe an in-house, what can be a disadvantage is that those mistakes can stick with you, because you're helping the departments within your organization, and word can travel that this person is not that great, or whatever the case may be. So that's another con that I've noted. So in terms of outsourced consulting, one of the cons is basically getting used to a new environment while you have to start working. So you don't really get a chance to get a feel of the organization. You kind of have to learn the people, learn the environments, learn the different processes while you go. And that's a required skill to have, actually, when you are consulting. But it can make things difficult for you if you know that you kind of don't know what the process is, and you might hit a lot of walls. But I guess it's a skill that you're supposed to have. But I've noted it as a con, because it takes a while. Even when a new CEO is going to come into an organization, you can't expect change within the first 3 months that this person is coming in. You first need to get a feel to, okay, this is how it works here, this is how people do things around here, okay, and then you can say, these are the gaps that I've noticed, and this is how we can fill them. But it depends on how you look at it. Now let's talk about a topic that we're all here for, the money part. I've had my 15 minutes of fame in consulting and outsourced consulting, as well as in-house. And when I first came in, it was in consulting, and the money is good. Okay, it's good. We can't deny that. And in my experience, it was money in the sense that you have this lump sum, and you kind of need to manage your own administrative duties in terms of allocating it to your pension fund, allocating it to medical aid. You sort yourself out, and basically I was subcontracted, so you kind of need to see for yourself. So when this lump sum comes in, you're like, this is me, but you don't actually see the fact that it's money, that there's still money in there that you're supposed to put out into different things. In terms of money, consulting has good money, but I do also think that there's that risk of having to then maybe move from different project to project, especially if you're an independent consultant. It's better if you are hired by a consulting firm, and then you have the flexibility also to work in different organizations. But if you're an independent consultant, you kind of need to do that administrative work for yourself, so that you are not overspending but not actually saving saving towards the important things that your money's supposed to be going to. So for me, that's a con in terms of money in consulting or outsourced consulting, but the money's good. That's a pro. It's good. In terms of in-house consulting, there's structure, established structure. If you are not keen on doing your own administrative duties, you know that there's payroll, who will sort out everything that you need to sort out, your pension, whatever it is that you're contributing towards. So for me, that's a pro in terms of money and in-house, but the money in comparison between consulting and in-house is not the same. But yeah, I guess it's because of the added risk in independent consulting that's added to that. So there's a little bit of stability on the in-house side. So now we're going to talk about career growth. What I've noticed is that with in-house consulting, you're going to have an opportunity to nurture your skills. You have more opportunity to learn from your manager, to learn from your colleagues and all of that, and get the experience in a well-paced kind of manner, or well-paced for me. But the con in terms of in-house consulting is that career growth is not necessarily quicker. So you might find yourself that you can hit the ceiling quite early, or maybe the exposure that you're getting is a lot and then you hit the ceiling. It's kind of difficult to motivate for a promotion or something of that nature early on in your career, because now there's I don't want to say hierarchy, not in a bad way, but there's different levels of growing within that particular structure. So it's not always, the career growth is not the same in comparison to outsourcing. In terms of career growth, in an outsourced perspective, with that you have an opportunity to work in different spaces, and with that you're able to negotiate a better salary every time you move into a different space. So that means that your exposure and your growth is much quicker than what you would have if you're working for a particular company in that department, and you need to grow within the ranks of that department. But the other side of that is you kind of need to be a fake it till you make it type of person, because you're coming into a new space. If you're a consultant, people are expecting you to know what you're talking about and what you're doing. So you kind of need to be that person who's adaptable, who can learn on the go, who's a fast learner, and will be able to jump from different spaces and blend well in those different spaces. So fake it till you make it is a thing. And in my experience, consultants, you kind of have to know how to sell yourself and learn while you go. So yeah guys, those are my views between in-house and outsourced consulting. Basically, I think whatever works for you works for you. There are great opportunities in both sides. So if you are a person who likes change, who's flexible, who likes to be in different spaces and interact with different people all the time, then you might consider consulting outsourced. But if you're a person who likes to be in the same environment but alternate within that environment, then you can consider in-house consulting. So basically, there are various options that you can explore for yourself as an individual. It's up to you to do the research and see what it is that's going to be comfortable for you. Are you a person that wants fast career growth, or to nurture your skills? However it is that you want to see it, do what's right for you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.